in here, because we got to get into some things, okay? So Ice Spice is in her mood. She's in her bag, all right? So Ice Spice's Y2K album is set to drop, and she is not taking or sparing any punches, sparing any beats, anybody. She is really getting into some things, okay? So she recently was on the cover of Rolling Stone. She addressed Latto. She addressed the text messages that came out with Nicki Minaj, and her album got leaked. All right. And some of the tracks got leaked. And one of the records, BB Belt, she was taking obvious shots at Cardi B. All right. So we're going to get into all of that right now. All right. So first, let's get into, what she said about Latto. All right. So pretty much Ice Spice is at the point where she kind of feels like Latto is like dragging it, and she's wanting to be done with the Latto situation. So in the article, Ice Spice says she feels like Latto is dragging their beef too far. You're talking about something that's supposed to be a fun moment, and you're making it about me. All right, so that's the headline. So during an interview with Rolling Stone, Ice Spice says she feels like Latto has dragged it on more than it needed to be. Though Ice admits that the song "Think You This" is about Latto, she says too many months have passed for Latto to still be making references. All right. I feel like if we ever spoke and I asked her, what's the issue? It'd be like a blank stare. It'd really be no issue whatsoever, especially from me, I says. I can understand a friendly competition, but I just feel like at this point, it's a joke and that she's dragging it out. And it's not even funny anymore. Like, bro, think you this is from January. You're going to post a piece of cake to announce something that's good news for you? But it's kind of a compliment to me because you're taking something that's supposed to be fun, a fun moment for you, and you're making it about me again. All right. So Latto pretty much posted, I don't remember if it was like her album release, or she posted something in regards to something happening for her, and it was like a piece of cake. Now here's the thing. I think that Ice Spice wants to be done with the Latto beef. I think that Ice Spice feels like, I'm kind of above the Latto stuff. It's not really getting me anywhere. And I think us as the general public, we're so bored with the Latto Ice Spice beef. It's not even interesting anymore. And so I think that Ice Spice is like, I got bigger fish to fry. I want bigger beefs. I need bigger issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, Latto, slight work. I've already kind of beat you with that. And here's the thing. A lot of us didn't even realize or know where the beef came from. All we saw was Latto first was really supporting Ice Spice. She seemed to like Ice Spice. And then when Latto was asked to finish a bar by Ice Spice on the red carpet, Latto acted as if she didn't know Ice Spice lyrics or even who Ice Spice was. And so Ice Spice kind of felt slighted, and that's when the beef happened. Then they started throwing shade back and forth. My opinion, I'm with Latto on this. I'm with Ice Spice on this. I'm over it. I'm not really interested in a Latto Ice Spice beef anymore. Let's dead it. They have since been out on red carpets together. They've been at award shows together. It's just not nothing exciting, okay? Unfortunately, Latto is just not one of those people to where it's like, we want to really see that beef. Like, we're really excited about it. It's interesting a little bit, but to keep dragging it on, like, it's not a big enough momentum for me. So I think that Ice Spice, I'm glad that Ice Spice is putting it on the floor, and I'm glad that it's clear, like they're going back and forth. But I think this is something that can die and go away, because even Latto was just like, I don't have no problem with her. It's just fun. It's going back and forth. They really don't have an issue. And so they beefed a little bit. They both mulatto women. They both be twerking and stuff. So at this point, I think that they're both kind of like throwing in the towel a little bit, but then at the same time, kind of like still throwing shade, So, but for me, I don't see this beef really lasting too long. I think this will be done by the end of this year. Like, for me, it feels like Ice Spice is just like, girl, I'm over you. You've dragged it too much. Now, if Latto keeps going with it, it's like, girl, you're pressed. So I think that beef is probably over. Of course, we'll get a couple of slugs and shots in Latto's music, but at the end of the day, I think that this beef is kind of fizzled out, and we're no longer interested. All right. Another thing that came up is the infamous text messages where, Latto, where Ice Spice talked about Nicki Minaj being ungrateful and how she gave Nicki Minaj an opportunity. And Ice Spice's former best friend put those text messages out because she was mad at Ice Spice. And so she addressed those text messages, okay? And Ice Spice pretty much said, I think the saddest part of the whole situation is somebody I knew for so many years and called my friend and had me open up and be vulnerable with them, then took complete advantage of that for her own benefit. I says, so that's the saddest part, really, just feeling used, okay? As far as a relationship with Nicki, I says they're good. I don't really think she cares about like that coming from a random girl. But what I said in those text messages was in a moment of frustration around the contract negotiations. Ice explained, okay? But at the end of the day, regardless of how I felt in the moment, Nicki is still somebody I respect as an artist, and I'm always going to admire everything she's done for me in the culture, okay? She said that her and Nicki do not have the closest relationship, but they're cool. And I can honestly say I respect that about Ice Spice, and I respect, honestly, how she addressed it because she knew she was going to have to address those text messages. And for you guys that don't remember what she actually said, she talked about how it's hard for her to negotiate with Nicki because she doesn't let people talk. She talked about how she invited Nicki to be a part of the Barbie song, even though Barbie invited her. She said that Nicki is like her mom, ungrateful and delusional. Nicki says Ice Spice says she cut Nicki off, by the way, not speaking to her till January. So she just was basically saying that Nicki was just really rude and disrespectful and, intolerable. You can't really talk to her. A lot of people said these things. But I think Nicki can have a level of respect for Ice Spice because Ice Spice didn't go and air this stuff out. It was aired out by a friend, and it was an attempt to assassinate Ice Spice's character and her reputation. And unfortunately, it did a little bit, Ice Spice, I don't know if she'll ever fully recover from that because a lot of Nicki Minaj fans are kind of like, yeah, we don't fool with her. But one thing I can say is Ice Spice wasn't the one that actually put it out. So it wasn't like she was looking for clout, and she never really addressed it until now. And I think that was the respectful thing to do. And again, Nicki finds herself in these situations all too often when it comes to the business end of working with these new girls. She needs to lay that on the line in the beginning before she gets into bed with these girls, and then because she ends up feeling some type of way in the end when they don't want to sign the contracts or they don't want to do business with her in that way. So for me, I'm proud of Ice Spice for actually getting up there and owning it and not trying to deflect it or not trying to lie. She took it. Hey, I did it, I said it, but at the same time, who hasn't said stuff in confidence to their friends or their family? You're not expecting someone to go expose your text messages because they're hating on you or because they're jealous or they're trying to tear you down. So at the end of the day, I think that Nicki can and should respect the fact that, hey, yeah, she did say that, but she's not the one that put it out. The girl put it out, Now, would their relationship ever be the same? Maybe not. But Nicki knows what she did to contribute to the fallout. And Ice Spice, they know what truly happened. And at the end of the day, I think that they can still move on and coexist as two women. They made great music together, and they don't really need to work together again at this point. It would be nice. And I think that this relationship is a relationship that can be repaired. But Ice Spice is definitely going to have to do some things on her own for a minute. And then, too, it's going to have to get clear on, this whole Nicki aesthetic that she's been kind of using, because it keeps coming out that, her team was wanting the Nicki Minaj wigs, and then Ice Spice was trying to do the Nicki Minaj kind of style record with the fat butt record. So I think that it needs to come clear if you respect Nicki, okay, cool. Or are you trolling her? You know what I'm saying? And it also came out that Ice Spice was trying to get on the remake of New Body. And so a lot of people didn't like that too. A lot of people felt like she was kind of moving a little wacky. You know what I'm saying? A little weird towards Nicki, and Nicki ended up pulling back. However, I do think that this beef or whatever this tiff is, they can get over in the future. And I would like to see it, And I love the fact that Ice Spice took ownership of what she did and what she contributed. So you have to respect that. Now, one beef that is really hot right now is Cardi B and Ice Spice. All right, so let's just really get into this. First of all, Ice Spice album has leaked. BB Belt, which I think is ironic, how you got a belt song for that whack. Hey, Ice Spice, I see you, child. That was a whack. She was whacking Cardi B in the record, and I'm just roughly saying what it was. She was talking about how Cardi B is built like an ant. She talking about how Cardi B is supposed to be the pretty one, but keep changing her faces. Cardi B talking about she setting the pace, but she flopping. She talked about how, yeah, she's light skinned, but I'm really black. So Ice Spice did not spare any punches when dissing Cardi B. All right. Cardi B also responded. Okay. Cardi B said, "These bitches have absolutely lost their mind. I'm getting all my licks back on my album, though, on each one of you bees." Okay. So I think that was a roundup, and maybe I'll do a second video on just Cardi B. Because I feel like that was a whack towards JT. That was a whack towards Bia. That was a whack towards Ice Spice. Okay. Also, Cardi B said, "These beats can't see me in numbers or status. Y'all had way too much time to catch up. Can't see me in money. Can't see me in real estate, fashion. Can't see me in person either. I'm not in a rat race with none of you bees, and I'm going to show y'all." Okay. So that was her response to everything that has been going on. If you guys know, JT released her project and was sending shots at Cardi B, calling Cardi B a flop, talking about how Cardi B, ain't the fashion girl like she was in 2017. Bia came out and said that Cardi B don't write. Ice Spice has talked about being a writer. Ice Spice came out talking about her body, talking about her face. And so everybody's at Cardi B. Here's the thing. Rightfully so from Ice Spice. I'm being neutral. At the end of the day, I think that Ice Spice got her lick back on Cardi B when Cardi B brought her into an argument that she was having with a Twitter fan. Long story short, a Twitter fan insinuated that Cardi B uses the N-word, and that she's not black. And Cardi B came out and said, "Well, why y'all saying it to me, but y'all let Ice Spice say the N-word?" Ice Spice jumped into the chat and was like, "Well, maybe that's because my parents are actually black, And so they had a little back and forth then. And Cardi B pulled a stunt on her and said, "Hey, Ice, why don't you post that picture you took with me at the Met Gala or whatever award show that was?" And so Ice Spice posted it. And so the internet went on fire because they like, "Oh, so you was sneaking around trying to be cool with Cardi B when you was supposed to be Team Nicki." And that was Cardi B's way of saying, like, "Yeah, girl, you a fan, girl, you a fan." You know what I mean? Post that picture with us while you trying to get cute, B. Post that picture while you was fangirling. That's kind of what it was. So she kind of hold Ice Spice and sunned Ice Spice in that moment. Now, not unbeknownst to us, we had no idea that Ice Spice said, "Okay, I got you, but I'm gonna put that in the tuck and I'm gonna save it for my album and I'm gonna whack you with the BB belt." And that's exactly what she did. And so Cardi B's reaction, she's justified in her reaction, but we can't sit here and say like Cardi B is just a victim. They were throwing shots back and forth, Cardi B has made several, one bitch, two bitch, old bitch, new bitch, none of y'all not gonna do you know what I mean? So Cardi B talks her ish too. These other girls are talking their ish. Now, a lot of people are like, "Well, why would Cardi B respond to Ice Spice, but she didn't respond to JT, or she didn't respond to Bia, and she didn't?" I'm actually kind of glad that Cardi B did not respond to Bia because, if you're going to respond to somebody that is going to make sense too. I do believe that Ice Spice is a great candidate for a response. Even though Cardi B may not want to accept it, Ice Spice is a moment, and she will have to respond and address it. Ice Spice, while she's not as big or as successful as Cardi B as of yet, Ice Spice has arrived and is starting to close the gap on visibility. Okay? It's not all about the numbers. Cardi B has her beating numbers and stats. However, the visibility of it all, Ice Spice, went out there and aimed for the top. And in my personal opinion, I feel like Cardi B is in her era where she's on the throne and she's got other girls that's saying, "Listen, you ain't putting up enough. You're not putting out enough music. Move around because I want that spot." You know what I mean? And a lot of people say, well, no, because it's Nicki's spot. Like I said before, many times, Nicki is solidified. Nicki's been in the game 15 years. Nicki's just doing her victory lap right now. She's over here. Cardi B is the current wave and the current pinnacle for female rappers. You know what I mean? This generation is the Cardi B generation. Nicki Minaj is just transcending through generations, but Cardi B, this is Cardi B's time to be challenged. And these girls are now not afraid to challenge her because they feel like they've amassed a certain amount of success, and they feel like she's not putting up any stats. She's not putting up any work. So people they don't respect her no more. There's no fear. They feel like, when the girls first come in, they try to come in all humble. Hey, what's going on? What? These girls have got top 10s, top 5s, top 3 records. You know what I mean? They've been Grammy nominated. So now they're like, I'm a big dog now. I'm closing the gap. You want to throw shade? I'll throw shots. I don't need you, girl. You're not even working. You're not even, and everything you putting out is flopping. This is what they're saying, not me. So the idea is, I feel like now they're like, yo, I'm not, just 2 years ago, she was up at Cardi B's birthday party. Now it's given, I don't see it for you. I could take that. I'll take that crown. You ain't doing nothing with it. You don't want it. You online ranting and crying. Move around. And so it lit some heat up under Cardi B because now Cardi B has to wake up out of her daze and get out of her feelings and get out of her confusion and get out of her rut, because I think now she's at an awakening where these girls want her spot. You got JT talking about, she's a fashion girl, So Cardi B at this point, I think she's now realizing that, hey, I can't coast anymore. I got to get serious because I got to defend my spot. Because if not, these girls is not hiding the fact that they want to boot me out of it. And so I'm glad that Ice Spice, put it on the floor like that. And I can respect that she did so. And I'm actually gagging that she wasn't afraid to go up against one of the biggest female rap superstars in the game right now. So that shows that's a real ballsy move for Ice Spice to do, because a lot of people will be afraid. But that also goes to show that that Ice Spice is confident in who she is and where she's going. And hey, that's important. Now, a lot of people will say, well, Ice Spice will never be as successful as Cardi B. Ice Spice will never have those numbers. She may not have the numbers as Cardi B, but one thing I can say is the fact that she has the youth on her side and the fact that she's continuously dropping music. And so I think that when investors and people want to get behind an artist, they're going to get behind a person that's seemingly fearless and willing to try. Cardi B has shown signs that, hey, I can get lost in my head and I can drag a moment out. So if you have another girl that's from the Bronx, younger, trendy, people are going to start to say, well, maybe I can do something with this over here. And maybe we can just kind of let that go because it takes too much to get an ROI over here, And a lot of people are just like, well, why is she? And that's another reason why I feel like Cardi B is responding to, is going to or should or has to respond to Ice Spice, because at the end of the day, Ice Spice is mainstream. Ice Spice is commercial. Ice Spice has done records with Taylor Swift. She's set with Nicki Minaj, Pink Panthers. She's Anna Wintour, shout outs. She's recently been spotted with Paris Hilton. So Ice Spice is making moves outside of her female rap peers to sustain her celebrity, to sustain her business, to sustain her imprint in music. Okay, so even if she decided, I'm gonna go a different way, I'm gonna go this way, she's still gonna be relevant in the circles, especially when it comes to marketing dollars and ad dollars and people wanting to get behind her as far as brands. And I think that Cardi B, as much as she's like, these girls are not on my coattails, these girls can't get with me. You see these girls coming, and you see these girls fearlessly coming, and so now you are having to react because you can't sit and coast on invasion and privacy for another few years, because one of these girls is going to strike. And I'd be damned if it be the girl that's racially ambiguous like you from the Bronx telling you that you a flop. I don't think Cardi B's going to let that go over, because that's too close to home. And two, a lot of people here, y'all didn't like what I was saying, but I was like, well, is Ice Spice having the Cardi B come up? If I'm being completely transparent, maybe a year and a half ago, I did feel that way. And I saw that. I was like, wow, Ice Spice wants this spot. Everybody thought it was Nicki. I'm like, no, Ice wants the Cardi B spot. People dragged me, people got upset, people lied. I got phone calls. I mean, people were just doing a lot. And here we are. Ice Spice puts out, I'm taking a spot. Cardi B's now seeing it. Now, people are like, well, wait a minute. It is some tea. She don't like her. They don't like each other. Well, no, they don't. And at the end of the day, it's not just about the numbers. It's about the fact that this girl had the audacity to come for you, especially that completely ended the Latto beef. She was smart with that because she was like, listen, I don't want to do this Latto stuff no more. Put me in a different conversation. People need to see me. I'm bigger than Latto. I'm done with that. Put me over here in the conversation of the top girls. Even if I don't do the numbers that they do, the people, they're going to look at me and start comparing me to where I want to be. I don't want to be compared with Latto no more. I want to be compared with the Cardi B's, the Nicki Minaj, the Megan Thee Stallions, the top girls. So, hey, I'm going to go take my shot at the Cardi B. She tried to play with me. I'm going to play with her back. So there's the numbers thing that goes into play, but then there's also the perception of the general public. Like, hey, this girl is out here. She's not afraid, and she's marketable, and she's mainstream. Maybe we don't need to book Cardi B for the $2 million. Maybe we can just book Ice Spice. You know? And then two, like I was saying before, they do have a similar come up. They kind of came out of nowhere, seemingly. A lot of people thought that they were both industry plants doing crazy numbers. I think the Nicki kind of fallout, the little tension between Nicki kind of slowed Ice Spice's momentum a little bit. We'll see if she can get that back. However, you know, if that would have never happened and she would have still been kind of cool with Nicki, this could have went a lot of different ways, and Ice Spice could have had a much bigger project, if you ask me, because she would have had more support, even though the project leaked. You know, but I think too, for Cardi B, it's more about pride and ego. Y'all both from the same city, from the same hood, same block. And she's coming for you. So at the end of the day, this is more than just about first week sales. It's almost about who's the king of New York. Better yet, who's the king of the Bronx? And if I know Cardi B like I feel like I do, she ain't gonna let that rock. She's definitely gonna step on Ice Spice. But I feel like Ice Spice is ready for it. She knew what she was doing when she did it. And I think a lot of people underestimated Ice Spice because she came in with the curly hair and the munch. But Ice Spice and Megan Thee Stallion are very similar. They're very calculated women, and they pay attention and study the craft, and they study their opponents, and they learn. And so I think when Cardi B does respond, she needs to make sure it's a knockout, because Ice Spice to me gives me that she might be she plans for a few steps ahead. And two, because Ice Spice is part of a younger demographic, Cardi B has to get back in tune with not only the people in her age range, but the younger people too, because Ice Spice has the ability to, you know, put out one line and make it a trendy line. Like, what are the odds that you're not even a fart? Like, Ice Spice is clever. She's very witty, and it will literally go viral and trend. And so what you don't want to do is give her an opportunity to come up with a trendy line for you, Cardi B. Cardi B needs to set the next stage for that. And so it's going to be really, really interesting to see how Cardi B comes, because if we're being honest, the momentum for Cardi B is a little slow. However, I think this can really add some fire and some heat to it if she does the right thing and not make this a Twitter thing, but get in the booth and really rap and really let these girls know why she is who she is and why these girls will never be her, and they can just keep dreaming and wishing. Because at this point, this is the time for Cardi B to defend her crown. The world is watching. And Ice Spice put it on wax in the pocket and was not afraid to do it. And one thing I got to say is I can respect that, because going up against an artist that's much bigger than you, much more successful, and that has probably more resources than you can be very intimidating, and it can be career suicide. But the fact that she did it and she's standing on it, I respect. And it also goes to show that, hey, she feels as though I'm capable of getting into the ring and performing at a high level and not losing. And this puts Cardi B's back against the wall, because now Cardi B is at a point where she has to react and she has to perform well. So I'm interested to see how this thing goes, but Ice Spice put her on the floor and she kept it real with everybody. She addressed Latto, she addressed the Nicki situation, and she addressed Cardi B. And you know what's interesting? To me, it's like, I'm loving that these female rappers are now, because at first it was this thing where all the female rappers want to be in this, like, we love each other, female unity bag. And now these girls are saying, bump that. I'm a pretty girl and I'm a mean girl and I don't care. I don't need all you girls to be friends. It's about me. And I can respect that more than faking for the gram or faking for the camera. Because I think now people are loving a sassy, confident, no nonsense having, cocky, arrogant female rapper. I'm here for it. And so I can't wait to see what Cardi B does next and how Ice Spice will perform. All right. And so let me know what you guys think in the comments below. A new beef has just kicked off. Cardi B versus Ice Spice. It's about to go down. Let me know whose side you want and who do you think is going to win this battle. All right. And until next time, keep that same energy. We'll see you soon. Peace out.